I'm an idiot. I didn't have the right screen on, but welcome in. If you're watching on YouTube, my bad. If you're just listening, you have no idea what happened. It is Wednesday. We are live. It is the Wednesday live chat. Is the people's open? You are the people. We are going to go through this for as long as possible. I'm feeling pretty comfy right now. I've got the 30 ounces of hot brewing coffee, hot steaming coffee in my master's tumbler that's falling apart a little bit, but we are otherwise ready to go. Get your questions, your concerns, your comments in the chat right now. We'll go as long as we need to. The places that we normally start to give you guys a little bit of buffer time to get those in are going to be weather, one and done, update on the contests, and we will go from there. If you did not see, my newsletter went out this morning with one of my favorite subject lines of all time. This prickles my fancy, with a little cactus emoji. The newsletter is 100% free. There's a link in the description to sign up for it. Deliver it every Wednesday morning in your inbox, 6:02 a.m. Pacific time. Go read it. Lots of information. I've got it there as well. All right, let's get to the weather. Scottsdale. So should be pretty clean, should be pretty clear. Is that the case? The answer is yes. We've got 3 to 5 mile an hour winds on Thursday, 3 to 5 mile an hour winds on Friday, and then disastrous weather over the weekend. No, I'm just kidding. Up to 6 miles an hour of wind on Sunday, all mid to high 70s. Obviously, when the sun, the way it works in Scottsdale is very much like Las Vegas. There's a valley there, right? So when the sun goes down over the mountains there, not technically sunset, because that's the horizon, obviously, it'll get a little bit chillier. It'll be chilly in the mornings. It'll be great all day long. Very, very good, clean weather forecast for this week. One and done is very interesting. So I'm going to hit a couple of points about the one and done right now. And then obviously I know there's going to be a lot of questions, concerns, and comments. We'll go through those along the way. This is a second tier event. If you go to the Pool Genius tool that I collabed on, we break down the tournaments by tiers, by the purses, right? What is first place? How much is the prize pool? That allows you to plan out your season. So this is not a first tier event. This is a second tier event. There's a ton of events remaining that are going to have a higher purse. So we're looking for a second tier type golfer is what we're looking for. We'll talk about that strategy a little bit, a lot later. Sam Burns is leading the way in projected ownership for one and done's, about 17%. It's not a huge number, and it is pretty spread out because there's 5 guys between 8.5% and 17%. So Sam Burns leads the way at 17. Tom Kim, Justin Thomas, and Sahith Theegala, for all intents and purposes, are equal, 10 to 11%. They are, as of right now, being rolled out at a very, very, very close rate. And then Nick Taylor is 8.5%. That's the top 5. So pretty spread out. You are not seeing a lot of Scotty Scheffler usage, 3.7%. You're not seeing a lot of Sungjae Im usage, which is a little interesting. If Sungjae Im won more frequently, I think this would be a really good number. I'm still not convinced it's not a great number on him, but just kind of pointing it out as we go. I already mentioned the one and done tool. The links to the description for the best possible discount from our friends over at Pool Genius. My buddies, love those guys over there. Love the team. Really great tool. I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't. And our one and done is full. Our one and done is up and running. Hat tip to all of you guys. We filled it, so no worries there. Our live listener league still has a couple spots remaining in it. That's fully guaranteed at $10,000. I will also mention this final thing, then we'll get into all your questions and everything else. There is one more big one and done that is kicking off this week. If you go to Splash, I don't have any affiliation with this other than I play in it. But it's called the original one and done. So I got in this last year. This was invite only last year. So it's $2,500, which I realize is a lot. It's about $100 a week. It is a really unique one and done. There are extra payouts for the longest cut streak. There's extra payouts for top 10s and wins if you don't finish inside the top 20. There are payouts for finishing dead last. There are segment payouts. It's a really interesting league with a lot of people in the industry. You will probably recognize usernames, quite frankly, if you start going through this. I'm not going to out anybody, but you will notice these names and you will recognize them when you see them. So just kind of throw Jeff Bezos is in it. So there, I'll point one out. So yeah, you'll notice the people that are in this. If you use my code RickRG, Splash will also give you one of these Travis Matthew hats. I don't have this hat. I need this hat. They need to send this to me. I understand it's like, oh, $2,500 for a hat. It's like, well, no, you were probably going to play anyway. And now you can get a hat out of it as well. So really interesting. We got like $600,000 in the purse last year. It'll get more than that this year. A lot of people late enter this, but yeah, figured that was interesting. You can get that link in the description as well. All right, let's get to it. The Fonz is here. Wow. The Fonz. Hey, any thoughts on Corey Connors this week? Seems to be flying under the radar. All right, let's get into this. My website, rickrungood.com, probably the rest of the way. Let's see what Corey Connors has been up to, his history around TPC Scottsdale. Obviously, the historically great approach play is awesome. He was miserable on the weekend at Pebble Beach, both putting and on approach. The putter is a problem. That's not unique to this year. That is not unique to his recent form. That is kind of the thing that has hampered him his entire career. But last 4 years, he's picked up strokes putting here in 3. Not a lot of great results. No, listen, here's what I think we're going to get out of Corey Connors. T17. Just an absolute vintage T17 where he's kind of around the first page of the leaderboard all 4 days, probably putt better than he has the last 2 weeks to start, or last 2 starts in 2025. He'll probably match his best finish year ever. Just not enough for me to think anything more than that. Garrett says, no love for Ben Coles. That's how you know it's a Rick Run Good live chat. When the second question is like, what about Ben Coles? Because we do the deep dives, right? Says you don't need to be a long driver here. It's been a decent fall for him and a decent start to the season. Yeah, I played Ben Coles a lot last year, and I think I got a lot of him during this run right here where the putter was horrific. Now, the first part of 2024, he was a lot better. Maybe just one event worth of positive regression there. This doesn't seem great to me. It seems fine. What I like about him is he still put together okay finishes when he was putting really poorly. So if we think he's out of that, I think there's like top 25 upside here. Not sure there's much more upside than that. If you're a 100 maxer, wouldn't the best strategy just to be 100% on Scotty for every field that he's in? Probably yes. So I think if you're going to 100 max things and you don't mind be 100 or 150 max, and you don't mind being very volatile, you'd either need to have like 0% Scotty or 100% Scotty. And I prefer 100% Scotty. And even in weeks like last week, where someone else who was in that 10K range, like Rory McIlroy, won the golf tournament, Scotty still scored a ton of points, right? He still scored 95 fantasy points. I think Rory had 130, which is obviously a big difference, but like that floor, that built-in floor for Scotty is never going to hurt you. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, the one format that I think that Scotty is never accurately priced in is DFS. We've talked about this a lot. He should be like $14,000. If you look at his odds compared to the rest of the field and his pricing compared to the rest of the field, it is not enough. It is not. So yeah, I would rather play 100% of Scotty in DFS than bet him outright every single week, if that makes sense. Can you do a deep dive on Rasmus Højgaard? I feel like he's a sneaky play. Yeah, I'm not sure how sneaky, because I've been talking about Rasmus forever. And I think I said at the beginning of the year in the offseason, he's the better Højgaard at this point. He is much more likely to make the Ryder Cup team. He played awesome all winter, all fall and all winter long on the DP World Tour. His stat profile translating to this golf course should be great. Phenomenal second shot player. Keep it in play off the tee, Rasmus, and go to work. Has never played here, which is not a huge concern. It's not like there's anything unique or crazy. It's just this is a test of execution. It is not a test of experience. So yes, I've been pounding, oh boy, Rasmus Højgaard for a long time. Being in close to last in one and done, is it smart to try to catch up with someone off the wall like Wyndham, or play it safe? Coffee just tastes better out of that Masters tumbler. We're at worst in week 5. I don't think you need to start going crazy just yet. the short answer is, yeah, as the year goes on, if you continue to be out of it, then you should be playing your position. This week, though, very early, and what you're getting, Armina just turned the sound on behind me, so I heard myself coming from behind there. The good part about this week is that the top 5 options, none of them are going to be really, really popular. So if you want to be very different, go with Nick Taylor, not Wyndham Clark, right? That's the idea here. Go with Sahith, not Wyndham Clark. You don't have to be that crazy because of the way the distribution is happening at the top. Probably would not play Rasmus for one and done. And I agree that for Scotty Scheffler, even if he wins this week, 1.6 million, there will probably be an event later in the year that he earns more money. Second place at signature events are 2.1. You've got the major championships. So even if Scotty wins this week and you feel like, oh crap, I didn't get Scotty, like it's not the end of the world. He is probably going to make more money somewhere else. So you should, I'm not playing Scotty this week, but I'm definitely not playing Rasmus. Hey, Rick, I heard Straka is sick. Well, it says, is that true? This is impossible to tell, right? So yes, I heard the same thing that you did, that a lot of the struggles on Sunday specifically were because he is sick. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a virologist, but if this takes the Ludwig Oberg path, he still might be in the midst of some bad stuff coming up. I have no idea. I don't know if it's the same thing Ludwig had, which is probably the neurovirus, right? I have no idea, but I'm not really that worried about it. Sepp Straka has been one of the best players in 2025. It's a really good golf course for him. He keeps it in play off the tee. He's not very long. That's fine. You don't have to be. And he has shown legitimate winning upside this year, has played well everywhere. And if the only bad round that he's had is because he's been sick, and that was 5 days ago, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5-ish days ago, I'm okay with that. I would be more concerned that he has stunk here than he is sick, but I don't really care about either one. 200 person one and done. Pick 2: Rasmus, Tom Kim, Burns, Taylor. Is that Nick Taylor? McNeely, Matsuyama. How might this pick change if you were in 20th compared to 150th? Okay, if I was in 150th, I would pick. I have to pick 2 of these. I would pick Nick Taylor and Tom Kim, 2 guys that I'm not going to need to save for later, but I'm going to have, but neither one of them are going to be the most popular. If I'm in 20th place, I'm taking Tom Kim and Sam Burns, 2 of the more popular golfers. Again, I don't need to save them for anything. I think you can save Matsuyama. McNeely, I just don't think cracks either one of those, but I think he's going to have a good week. Let's do the deep dive on Tom Kim, because I'll tell you what, I have already used him, or I'm planning on using him in a lot of my one and dones. Probably half, if not more, of my one and dones for this week are going to have Tom Kim in them. Am I concerned? Yes, but here's where I'm at. Ever since Tom Kim started to play slow, he's been really good. And I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but that's the truth. So ever since the PGA Championship, he has returned to being a very accomplished ball striker, a very accomplished second shot player. He has been piling up gains on approach. He is piling up gains off the tee. It is turning into very strong performances. An 8th at the Olympics, a runner-up in Korea, a runner-up at the Hero World Challenge, a 7th at Pebble Beach, in which he faltered on Sunday, could have been better there. He's a 2nd at the Travelers, a 4th at the Canadian Open. All of this is after that PGA Championship that I was alluding to. So he has a lot of upside on a golf course that should be a really good fit for him. I am terrified that the fans will give him the business about his slow play. That is the only concern, but I can't control that. And I am going to roll with Tom Kim in 50 to 60% of my one and dones. It's kind of wild to think we're at the point where I'm thinking about using names like JT, Spieth, Homa, and Finau so that I can save names like Henley, Straka, and Thigala for bigger ones. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Rick, thanks for the info. What would your, okay, so last two into a DK single entry lineup, the question is Lonto, Knapp, Hoey, or Coles? I probably go Lonto and Hoey. Honorable mention to Coles, Knapp, not ready to go quite back there yet. I spent a lot of time on Monday talking about Lonto. He wins at Q School. He's got two really good ball striking performances in his last two. I think he's back to being a top 60-ish player on the PGA Tour. And then Hoey, so when I ran some models earlier this week, Rico, or I've listed here as Richard, I should probably change that to Rico. He modeled out really well for me. Great driver, stout around the greens. Yes, he putted poorly at the American Express, but like his bad putting weeks are usually miserable putting weeks. And if he doesn't have those, he usually putts pretty well. So you'll see him lose 7 at the American Express, lose 7 at the Sanderson Farms, but most other weeks he's a positive putter. So I think it's those two. I need to see more out of Knapp. What do you think of Luke Clanton's approach of course fit this week? Yeah. I hate to be anything negative on Luke Clanton because he's such a special player, but this stat, if you showed me this stat profile, I would be a little bit worried about it. The fact that he stinks around the greens is not great. Now, these are large greens. He can probably hit those. I don't like the fact that he's lost strokes in 3 out of his last 3 events. If you remember the Farmers, he was just pouring in everything from 8 to 10 feet and 15 feet to save par a lot of times, or bogey in some situations. I think Luke Clanton is set up for a very long, illustrious career. This profile right now, this week, is not as exciting as it was 6 months ago or for other tournaments. Rick, you're the bomb. What ball are you gaming these days? I'm still using the Pro V1X. I did just hit, so I was using the Vice Pro Plus for a long time. About 6 months ago, I started using the Pro V1X again. I did just hit a Vice the other day because it was in my bag, and I like it. I still like it a lot, and I like the line on it better than the Pro V1X, which has like a very light line. I like the darker line. It's easier for me to see. It's easier for me to line up. So I go back and forth, but like right now, this moment, if I were to play, it would be a Pro V1X. If you're stuck between multi options and one and done, what's your tiebreaker? Course fit, recent form, gut feeling, combo of the 3. It's probably a combo of it. No, it's probably gut feeling, quite honestly, right? If I do all the analysis and I'm like dead even on 2 guys, at some point you have to be happy with what you've chosen. At some point you have to want to root for something, right? It's why I'm always saying, like, don't bet what I bet. You shouldn't care what I do. Like, you have to live with your decisions. You have to go out there and be excited about it. And if everything else is tied, it's okay to just say, I like this guy more, or like, I think it's going to be this guy, or whatever. Like, it's okay. It's okay to have a little fun. Any scoop on a possible splash PGA quick picks? Yeah, I'm under the impression it is imminent. Imminent in that world is probably like before the Masters would be my guess. So maybe the next couple weeks, but yes, the plan would be ASAP from what I understand. Fowler, let's do the Ricky Fowler deep dive, and then hopefully we don't probably ever have to do it again for the rest of the week. I understand that Ricky Fowler has great success around this golf course. Let's look at how recent that is. So cut T10, cut T37, win. Okay, so that win was 2019. Since 2019, 5 trips, 1 top 10, 3 missed cuts. He has lost strokes off the tee in all 5 of those visits. That is bad. If you look at what he has done recently, it is still pretty concerning. Where's the upside? Unless he's going to gain 7.5 strokes putting, which is what he did at the Zozo to finish 4th, I don't know where he has a place to improve. Because he's so inconsistent. 1 week he drives it well, the next week he's horrible. One week he gains 3.8 strokes on approach, the next week he loses it. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's just there is not a clear path to Ricky Fowler having a good week that doesn't involve him getting better in multiple areas or having just a complete outlier putting week, approach week, whatever. That's tough to bank on. And the history here the last 5 years is really, really bad. Can we get a deep dive on Brian Harmon? I don't think you're going to like what you see. Let's find out. B Harms. Yeah, not good. So 53rd at Pebble, miscut the American Express, T21 at Sony, and nearly dead last at the Century. That is his 2025. The putter, up and down, lots of downs, a little bit of ups. Around the green plays, lost in 3 out of 4. His full swing might be a little bit better, but not good enough. Has lost a lot. He's lost at least 3 strokes on approach here in 4 out of his last 5 and in 8 of his last 10. Not for me. Akshay's irons. Are Akshay's irons consistent enough to seriously compete here? Ooh, that's a pretty good question. I think the answer is no, but let's see here. Yeah, this is tough. The types of courses where he's really hit it well don't remind me a whole lot of TPC Scottsdale. Let me just check a couple things real quick. He's very good with his wedges, not very good with the mid irons and longer. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough this week. Eckroat is the poke that you want, the Oklahoma State Cowboy that you want. Is Scotty and 5-7K guys going to be the most common build? Yeah, actually, maybe. Based on these projected ownership numbers, it's either Scotty and 5-7K guys or JT Straka, Hideki Straka. That kind of build. Wow. Hold on one second. Let me just flip this around really quickly. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, based on what, so Mike Cavalunas does the ownership projections for rickrungood.com. Based on what he's got in here, I would say that does seem to be the most common, with the second most common being probably one of JT and Hideki along with Sepp. I had an outright on Glover last week that almost hit. He putted great till Sunday. Are we going back to him this week? Yeah. Of course. So the price didn't come up that much. And this is still a good golf course for him. What you don't want to do is you don't want to get super wide off the tee, right? Which is fine because he's a very accurate driver. And then he's just a really, really good flusher. The putter, he still missed a bunch of really short putts, Scott. Like, it was ugly. I was right there with you, right? So that's not great, but he still picked up 3 strokes putting. He's now picked up putting in 6 out of 7. It is a positive, but close your eyes because sometimes it's going to be ugly. Thoughts on Billy Ho as a one and done play this week? Interesting. Let's see, 6.2% in projected ownership. I feel like it's just been, has it been one good start in a row or has it been more than that? It's like 1.5. T21 at the American Express played great at the stadium course on Saturday, bad on Sunday. And then last week was a lot better. His Phoenix Open stuff is good, very good. Yeah, no, it is very good. He hasn't missed a cut here since 2014. A couple of top 10 finishes along the way. Man, just like, do you have to use Billy Horschel? It's crazy because like you could get Sepp Straka for the same, or you could get Sung Jae for less. I don't hate that. Like, this is kind of a situation, right, where if you're like, listen, I really like Billy Horschel, and you would just want to hear me say, yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't do it, but I don't think you'd have to twist my arm too much to get there. Battle of the double initials, Harry Hall or Sam Stevens? Might still be Sam Stevens, and I love Harry Hall, but what Sam Stevens has been up to is really good. I want to just check a couple of things really quickly here. Yeah, I think it's still Sam, quite honestly. Finished T28 here last year. The tee to green numbers are still really good from the fall on. It's Sam. Would you ever consider adding Eagle or better to your custom model? Sure. I'll just write that down. I know that sounded like I was being a jerk when I was like, I will just write that down. Would you rather have Nick Taylor and Siwoo or Straka plus anyone? Would you rather have Nick Taylor and Siwoo, comma, or Straka and anyone else of your choice at $7,000 or lower? I think it's going to be Nick and Siwoo, but let me just check who I might want to pair Straka with. Frankie? Sappin? I think it's still Nick Taylor and Siwoo Kim. Am I a psycho? Yes. Well, hold on. It says am I a psycho? Why? Sorry. We are like either 2 weeks in or 5 weeks into this year. I love the creativity. I'm not sure we need to put the foot on the gas pedal just yet. Even if you have earned $0 to this point, really not sure we need to push the pedal yet. However, I think you're crazy for using Novak or Dunlap. Kitayama's not so bad. So if you look at, again, this is completely unique to my leagues, my position, who I have selected so far. But Kurt Kitayama grades out on this one and done tool very similar to Wyndham Clark in terms of what their implied win odds going to be. He's not going to be popular. 50-1 is probably the lowest I would go in terms of some of these outrights here. And he is interchangeable with a lot of these guys. I would put Kurt Kitayama firmly in the second tier of guys that I would be willing to play in one and done this week. So that one I think is a little bit better. The Dunlap and Novak thing is, to me, crazy. Are you going to Genesis at Torrey next week? I don't know. Maybe. We traveled so much in 2024 that I've just like wanted to stay home and work on the website stuff. But I think I would love to go to a signature event at Torrey. I don't know. We'll see. I'll make a last minute decision. DFS decision. Scotty in a vacuum. No questions asked. Scotty, is he worth the risk in terms of salary allocation in a full field event with a cut? Or Dekia? No, I think it's still very much Scotty. Favorite plays in the 6K range. So Frankie Sappin, who I talk about a lot and is a Arizona boy, is $6,800. Mentioned Rico Hoey modeling well. Chris Ventura is coming off that T4 from 2 weeks ago, I believe, right? Farmers Insurance Open. We talked about Lonto Griffin being back. The absolute dart throw that I would make here is Matt McCarty. I'm not ready to say Matt McCarty has forgotten how to play golf. He won in the fall. He won multiple times on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's been miserable since that cut, which is not super rare. We see this happen to guys all the time. They win and then their life changes and things happen. He's putted better in his last two. This is probably one of the better setups for him. He's an accurate player off the tee. He's a good second shot player. He can putt well and he can win. This would be the dart throw here for me. That is my favorite. Hey, Rick, with this being a non-signature event with Scotty in the field, should we be opting for the Harry Hall? Okay, so I guess this is a one and done question. No. I mean, you could still play Sahith. I think Sahith is okay. JT worries me a little bit here because of the way you have to drive it so well, but I also think so highly of JT that I'm willing to save him. So JT's not super on my radar for this week. I think I did play him in one smaller one and done. I believe I played him in. Yeah, here. Oh no. I played him in that. Well, I guess I'll just tell you. I played him in that $2,500 one, but there's only going to be like 200 people in there, so I played him there. No, I don't think you need to go super crazy on that again. There's a really good chance, be the man, that you shouldn't be using Ben On, Siwoo Kim, or Billy Horschel at any point in this one and done. It's 28 events. Unless you've got to pick two for major, I just don't know why any of those guys would have to make any of your selections for this week, unless we get, very much later in the year and you're in big trouble. Max Homa, any signs of life from Max Homa? Let's take a look. Boy, you hate to see it, don't you? This was the signs of life. Post President's Cup, these 3 events until Kapalua, and it's almost looking a lot like the bad stuff again. So no, unfortunately, and I wish I had a different answer. Predict the top 3 contenders come Sunday at each of the majors this year. Sure, that'll be easy enough. I mean, can I just say the same 3 guys? Scotty, Rory, Xander. Is that the cheapest way out? Probably. Honorable mention to Bryson in 2 of those. Honorable mention to Victor in 1 of them. Xander in 1 of them. Honorable mention to Ludwig in 1. Then you're going to get like a weird, like Siwoo will contend. Yeah. Cantlay will contend somewhere. I'm new to 1 and done, and I'm curious how much different I have to be from now on after chasing. Oh, okay. So this is after choosing JT last week and only getting 48,000. Like, do not let that change your decisions at all. There is, I'm not even sure I'm exaggerating, $300 million of purses remaining. The winner is going to get somewhere between 18 and 28 million, depending on your league. Getting 48, like, you are not changing anything based on that result. And even if you picked Rory last week, you're not really changing anything based on that one result. Okay, this is in regards to the best bogey avoiders. So I guess there's a couple ways we could do this. Let's just go to the custom model and put all 100 weights on bogey avoidance, which is under scoring. By the way, I'll do a quick ad for rickrungood.com. Scheffler, McCarty, Jose Luis Ballester probably don't have a ton of. I only have 4 rounds on him. Justin Thomas, believe it or not. Frankie Sappin, Grayson Sigg, Victor Perez, Robert McIntyre, Hideki Matsuyama, Denny McCarthy. Here's the ad for rickrungood.com. If you didn't see it on Rasmus Højgaard, I've got all the DP World Tour strokes gained. I've got Live strokes gained. I've got Corn Fair. I've got everything. The other fields have been loaded in. So the Qatar Masters is also in the custom model cheat sheet with salaries that you need. Live Golf Riyadh also here. Then the Corn Ferry, the Senior Tour, and Showdown have all been loaded in. So, fire away. I'm doing my best to compile as much information and as much data as possible. Can we see a head-to-head matchup between Mahomes and Hurts? Yeah, I think it's Mahomes. Hey, Rick, Hideki or Tom Kim in 1 and done? Very, very close. I have played Tom Kim. I think you can save Hideki. A lot of good spots for Hideki coming up. Don't need to save Tom Kim. Good afternoon, Rick and fellow run gooders. Yes, Greg. Who's the producer's play of the week? Armina says Sam Burns, which I think is probably the most expensive golfer she's ever picked. She said, yeah, I know, but
I never go that high.
Oh, I never go that high. I didn't understand what she said. Good day, Rick. I'm trying to decide between Gim and Woodland in my last spot for single entry lineups. They're ranked pretty even in my model. I would love some insight from you to help me decide. Cool. Let's do it a couple different ways here, John. Let's just filter on Gim and Woodland. Get these out of the way here. So Gim is 72. Woodland is 71. Sorry. I just needed to reset that. So I got rid of bogey avoidance. Are you surprised that Doug Gim is a significantly better ball striker than Gary Woodland is? Because that kind of surprises me a little bit. He's better around the green. He's a worse putter. Let me look at their histories here, because Woodland's history here, I think, is pretty darn good, and it's long. It's like he's played here like 20 times. Gim's is pretty good too. T12 last year, gained across the board. He missed the cut in 2023. Woodland's is crazy though, right? It is, but the last 5 or 6 haven't been that good. All right. I think it's Gim. Good day, mate. On the Mega Preview Pod, Mark selected Jose Ballester as a sneaky top 40 play. Can we look into his profile? I don't think I have much, because he's just a young buck, right? Jose Luis Ballester. I think I said I had 4 rounds on him. Yeah, I've got him for the Open de España this year. He missed the cut. I would be lying if I said I knew anything more about him. I know that he is a incredibly talented. I think he's an incredibly talented amateur just turned pro. I don't even know what his status is, but I feel like he's a PGA Tour U guy, isn't he? Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else, but I don't have any more data on him. Just those 2 rounds there. I guess it's a special prop this week. Proximity to the hole on 16, 3-ball matchups. Ooh. If I had more time to do this, what I would actually do is I would run and grab the shot by shot data for 16, and I would do it that way. This is the down and dirty way. I don't really love doing it this way, but I'm just going to kind of cheat a little bit here. So I'm going to go to the custom model. What I'll do is I'm just going to put my weights on those approach buckets, which would be, here's what I'll do. I'll do like 50 on strokes gained approach last 36. Then I'll do these two, depending on where they put the pin. 125 to 150, 150, 175. It could be, depends on where they put that stick though. And then actually what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to actually do strokes gained par 3s for 20. Actually, what I guess what I could do is strokes gained. Okay, let's do that. Strokes gained par 3s between 125 and 150. And then I'm going to put 10 on strokes gained TPC Scottsdale so that I can see who can deal with the heat. And then I'm going to go Woodland, Knapp, and List. This is a very weird way to do this, but I'm just going to do it. Well, Gary Woodland would grade very well. None of them are very good at par 3s in that range, but Woodland is the best. Woodland's been the best on approach by a mile. Woodland and Knapp are basically tied for course history, but Woodland's goes back 20 years and Knapp's probably played here once or twice. The only thing that anybody like Luke List is famous last words, no chance. The only thing that anybody beats Gary Woodland at is Jake Knapp from 150 to 175. So I don't know. That was just a weird kind of different way to do it. 6-person league, says Christian. My buddy has won 2 championships by picking 3 or 4 top guys, then rest at the bottom. If the bottom guys make the cut, he usually wins. What do you think of this strategy? Well, if he's won 2 championships doing that, I think it's pretty good. Are there any guys you are 100% saving for a certain tournament in one and done? Who and where? Probably Scotty for the Players. I don't like that it's a big field, but it is a course that does a really good job of separating, and it's the biggest purse. So probably Scotty there. There's so many. I was thinking about Rory, but I was thinking about so many spots. Probably Rory at Quail Hollow for the PGA Championship. Rory has so many good spots, but Quail Hollow is the best for him. It is going to be a big purse. I'm sure everyone will use him there, but that's okay. I'm trying to think where else I could go here. Cam Davis at the Rocket Mortgage. Who is the next world number 1 and when does it happen? It'll be a long time because Scotty's built up such a big lead. I think actually the best chance would be someone like Ludwig, I think he's still playing with a denominator issue. So he doesn't have as many tournaments yet as everybody else does. So he's actually being, if I remember correctly, he's actually being hurt by the few tournaments that he's played. If he were to rattle off like 3 wins quickly, the math behind that would be very helpful for him. Thoughts on TGL the last 4 weeks? I'll make this very quick because I want to get to some of these questions. I like TGL, but it has some problems. The tech is a problem. The simulator and the ball on the ground logic is very, very bad. I can't decide if I like or don't like the fact that they're playing the same holes all the time. I like it when it's like, oh, we've seen this hole before, but at the same time, there's an infinite number of holes to be played. Why are we playing the same holes? So I don't know. I'm still positive on it, but I go back and forth a lot. Matthew Akers asks about Daniel Berger, and I think this is an interesting one because at the start of 2025, I was ready for the Daniel Berger breakout. Not quite sure we got it, right? T21 at the American Express was the best result. And that was with a really, really bad Sunday. Otherwise, we haven't gotten much out of him. His history here is good, but again, it's been a while, as with everything with Daniel Berger. I remain cautiously optimistic. Probably won't get a big investment from me this week, but I'm like at the first sign of real life from Daniel Berger, I'm ready to hop on. Top three guys between $7,000 and $7,600. So that is okay, basically Mac up to Billy Horschel. All right. Sam Stevens, Austin Eckroat, Lucas Glover. Does anybody else break into that group for me? No. Honorable mention, Tom Hoagie. Do you have any one and done leagues where you choose two golfers each week? I do not. No, that is not as popular across the industry. Would you say there are certain courses where course history actually matters more due to uniqueness? Augusta National, Harbor Town, Pebble Beach, Kapalua, Southwind, Eastlake. When you're modeling, when you do your model, can it be heavier on approach and course history? Yeah, I think I already kind of did that. I would not play Snedeker under any circumstances, which ensures he wins this golf tournament. Joel Damon, how do we feel about desert golf? Joel Damon. Yeah, probably not great. On paper, great spot for him. In reality, hasn't been a good place for him. Here's his trips at what is probably like his home course. Well, not really. I know it's not his home course, but you get the point. He lives in Scottsdale. 41st, 50th, 62nd cut, WD cut. Not great, Bob. Coming off the T9 at the Farmers Insurance Open. Is he a desert golfer? Is that true? Let's do this. Let's do Shriners and let's do Phoenix. Let's do what's the one? Why am I blanking on? Oh, American Express. Has he ever played in Dubai? I doubt that. Where else do they have deserts? Palm Springs. I got that one. Am I missing? What is it? Am I missing a desert? I don't think I am. You got Vegas, yeah. Cut WD 41st, cut 7th, 50th, 37th, 62nd. I also don't think that he's a good desert golfer. I don't think this is a question, but I don't think Robert makes a bad point. He says, elevate green and regulation stats. That is a question. Elevate green and regulation stats? Question mark. Firmer, larger greens, longer rough, tough chipping, tight lies, heart of the green. Okay, sure. Yes. I would actually say, so I really like the opportunities and opportunities gained and opportunities plus gained. How many looks you give yourself inside of 10 to 15 feet. The reason for that, and if you watch the Monday show, you know this already, but it is really hard to hit it close to the pin here. So on a strictly statistical basis, zero opinion on this. The two ways that are most statistically available to beat the field: hit it within 15 feet for birdie more often than your peers. That is one way, because this course does not allow a lot of those compared to tour average. Or make more putts outside of 26 feet. If you do both, you will be in good shape. Maverick McNeely. Sorry, that just came to mind. What's your rank on guys that don't grade well on course fit but have a great history? Yeah, that's why golf is unfortunately not played on a spreadsheet. Nick Taylor, I have like zero concerns about Nick Taylor this week. Okay. Just absolute zero concerns. Looks like he's back. Very good player. I'm excited for him. Clear these filters. My bad. Yeah, let's go. Let's ride. Oh, look at this. A super chat. Well, that's not necessary. It's appreciated, but not necessary. From Burton, thank you. Says, I loved your Homa pick at Torrey. Yeah. Well, we go down together. Who would you pick out of these guys? Bo Hostler, Nick Taylor, Charlie Hoffman, or Siwoo Kim? Yeah, I think it's in order. I think it's Taylor, Siwoo, Bo, Charlie is the order that I think it's in. And it's funny, we're talking about Nick Taylor right now. I think he's back. I think the approach play is back. I think the putter is heating up. The history here is very, very good. Thanks for the super chat. Not necessary. Always welcome. Now I got to find my spot again. Sorry. Card for this week. Don't bet what I bet. I only bet one. Tom Kim, 30-1. That's it. I thought about, and I still might, do a big one on Scotty, but I don't really want to battle Scotty, and I didn't really love anybody else. JT, I think the numbers a little, I think I have more concerns than most for Justin Thomas. I think that the stats are great for Sungjae, but he doesn't win. I think that Scotty's probably just going to win. So I don't want to get like too deep into the card, but I also don't want to bet him at like plus 280. So if I bet anybody else, it'll be a big bet on Scotty. I will probably just roll with Tom Kim. I've said this a million times in 2025. I have a lot more matchup action than I've ever had. And that's the way that I kind of want it to be. So yeah. Where's the fire hat today? Yeah, I have to do CBS Sports HQ later, so I did my hair. That's truly if I have to go on TV, I do my hair. If not, I usually just wear the hat. Talked about a lot of these guys. Did we do this? I kind of talked about Kitayama. I don't know if we did the deep dive though. He's a very long, decent wedge player who probably finishes inside the top 10 more often than you think he does. I find him to be rather volatile, but I also find that he's one of the few guys in the world who can pick up 11 or 12 strokes from tee to green in multiple events in a row, which is basically what he did for a 4 out of 5 tournament stretch. But at the same time, he might just finish T33 and you might not ever see his name over the course of the week. So I'm pretty optimistic. I just think that he is incredibly volatile. Rick, my man, I already signed up for Splash a long time ago, but I was reading your newsletter this morning and saw this sweet hat they were giving away. How do I get one of these? Well, if you've already signed up, I don't know. I bet if you were to, here's what I bet would happen, because I know TJ is a good dude and he will probably honor this. If you sign up for the 2,500, they will send you this hat, whether you use my code or not. If you just email the VIP support, they'll probably send you one of these. I want them to send me one as well. What I think I could also try to do is maybe I can get them to send me some of these and then I can send them out to Rick Run Good stuff. I don't know, but I got to get my hands on one of these as well. Okay. I talked about this a lot on Monday, but we'll go back to Minwoo here. There's something happening statistically. Minwoo Lee, in his career, dynamic off the tee, ability to get hot with the putter, underrated short game, miserable approach player. Okay. And that approach play really hampered his results first couple years on tour. What I see now is a golfer who, not in a crazy way, but he has picked up strokes on approach in 4 out of 6, 4 out of 5 measured, 5 out of 7 measured. I see a lot of better finishes, everything much more consistent finishes, everything inside the top 30. Still a very good driver, still can get hot with the putter. I think we are seeing growth here. This is what statistical growth looks like. So, yeah, I'm in. I was looking at your website, and it would be cool if there was a way to look at golfers' closing odds to win tournament historically. Oh, you mean like this? Like click on full screen and see their odds? Like that? I have to load in the Pebble Beach one still, so my bad. So maybe I got a little cocky there. But just like that, to see their odds, yeah, just click full screen. There's a lot of stuff on this website. There's only so much real estate on a screen. I do my best. I got so much more coming too. It's so freaking crazy. I wish I could code. Long story. One and done. Pick 2. Taylor, Stevens, Glover, Horschel. Oh boy, that is actually quite tough. Taylor, I think definitely. I love Stevens, but I don't think you need to be involved here. I'll say the same thing I said about Glover last week. Glover has legitimate top 5 upside. Wasn't that the exact thing I said about him last week? It's like, yeah, he might. He was $6,100. I was like, he might win this golf tournament, but he can absolutely finish T5. I think it's still Glover. I'm going Taylor Glover. Oof. I'm afraid to type in Matt Fitzpatrick's name. I don't think there are any signs of him getting into form. Let's look. I would say they are light. He's driving it better, but the bar was low, and it's not really resulting in anything too spectacular. So there are signs, but they're not super great. Oh, thanks, TK. That's nice. We did talk about Joel Damon. Hopefully you heard on that. Hey, Rick, new member. Love the content. Cheers. Do the projections and ownership projections change throughout the week? And if so, what time are the projections and ownership projections usually finalized? Yes. Yes to both. There's not a set cadence, but it is usually once or twice a day. So the way that you know there has been a change on the ownership projections is this little trend guy, right? So the first time ownership projections come in, the trend is 0. So the way that this reads is that Scotty's ownership projections are up 9% from the last time we ran ownership. I don't have anything like that for the projected points. The projected points don't fluctuate as much. It's just it's a calculation based, like technically when Matt Kuchar withdrew, that changed the projections, right? Ever so slightly. But when you simulate the tournament however many times, you're going to get slightly different numbers. So I would say there is not a scheduled time, but at least once a day. The only worry that I have about Justin Thomas is that he will get into trouble off the tee. I showed some of those holes on Monday, and I can pull them back up. I think I can do this quickly. Especially on the back nine. There are so many spots where water is 2 yards off the fairway. There are also a lot of spots throughout the golf course where desert is right there. And those are not quarter stroke penalties, okay? Playing from the desert and obviously hitting it into the water are like half a stroke or full stroke penalties. And he is wild off the tee. And I worry about that. He's using that longer, like 11. If he plays 11 at 1 over 4 days, he might win this golf tournament. But he might hit like 3 in the water. I'm just, and then 15, he's uber, I'm just worried about that. But everything else I love about him. I'm just worried about some big numbers adding up. Is Keith Mitchell too ambitious in a one and done? Yes. If Hovland called and asked you to be his new caddy, how long of a conversation would it be with the producer? She said 0.1 second. Yeah. I'd be on that bag immediately. Rick, joined the site last week and I'm impressed with the information. Thank you. Am I crazy for factoring left's rough percentage? I mean, listen, it's funny you asked that as I have like the satellite imagery up of all the stuff on the left. So I don't think it's crazy. I will say, and listen, I would love to just be like, yeah, the magic of Rick Run, like this is going to solve all your problems, and you can only get it at rickrungood.com. I would love to say that. That's not true for this statistic. Otherwise, the thing that stat misses out on is I would like to know what is their left rough percentage when the trouble's on the left, right? If you are a guy who misses left a lot and you stand on the tee box here on 15, you know the trouble's on the left, right? What are you doing otherwise? So it is, as with most golf stats, it is an imperfect stat, but I think that you are correct in evaluating that a lot of the big stuff is on the left. I, in general, think that JT on courses that are not long, which this one is not, and courses that are like JT Poston does not need to foreshadow success to win. We've seen that from him. This is a short course where approach is important. The only concern that I have is he is usually a stout putter. Look at these numbers in 2025. -2.5, -1.3, -3.7, -5. He is getting worse. Okay. That is not great. So that's the concern there. If JT Poston gains 2 strokes putting this week, he might win. He's very, well, maybe not win, but you get like, that's the thing. He needs that. I like Poston. I think there's a couple of duplicates here. Any idea what percentage Scheffler was in the optimal in 2024? I email it out every week. I would have to go through them all. A lot. Thank you for your great content. Sitting 4th in your fantasy league. Whoa. Saw where Scotty putting here. He has 3 of his top 9 performances. Is that enough of a sample size to matter? Saw where Scotty saw. Okay, let's just look this up together. Sometimes I can't read, or sometimes there are typos, or sometimes both. So let's see what the heck is being discussed here. Okay, got it. Yeah, Scotty putts well here. Yeah, that's enough of a sample size. That's a lot. I mean, that is 4, 8, 12, 16 rounds where he's been a very, very, very good putter. Yeah, that's enough of a sample size. Okay, did that. That's good. 5 total entries. Tons of Sahith, Tom Kim, Siwoo, Benyon all have. Okay, I don't see a question there, so I'm just going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to lump a couple of these Charlie Hoffman questions together. I do want to give him props. The fact that he is even still basically contending and playing well at 4. Like, I've tried to retire this guy so many times. Can't putt. Great tee. I mean, this is more of the same. Great tee to green numbers. Very good off the tee. Very good on approach. Miserable putter. Has played here probably 30 times. I don't know. Something outrageous like that. Finished runner-up here last year. Gained 7 strokes putting last year. And the guy's a miserable putter. Probably not going to happen again. So I cool on Charlie. Is it possible you can be early on Homa or Cam Young this week? I don't think it's this week, and I would rather be early on Homa than Cam Young, but young Tom Morris. So stupid. Where's Cam Young? Cameron Young? There we go. So stupid to have a young Tom Morris profile. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. This is brutal, Cam. Just brutal. I mean, I guess I'd prefer Homa, but I'm not playing either of them. Yes, we talked about Kurt Kitayama. Yes, we've talked about Tom Kim. Yes, we've talked about Nick Taylor a lot. I have a personal cheat sheet that is for individual players' last 3 tournaments and 3 at the upcoming. It fills me with confidence. But do you think it's madness? No. Buddy, you're talking to Stuart. You're talking to a guy who literally has an online cheat sheet that I share with people that no, I'm your demographic there. Sorry, this is a data show. Sorry, I know this is a data show. Are there any intangibles you consider when selecting players? Yes. Strokes gained cojones. Okay. If you make a triple bogey on the first hole, do you pack it in or do you fight? Tom Kim fights. Jordan Spieth fights. Sung J M 2 weeks ago or whatever at the American Express fights. Guys that pack it in. That's Eki Matsuyama. Wyndham Clark. That type of stuff. And then also, this week is really interesting. There are some guys who do not like this week. Okay? I'm telling you that. So, yes, sometimes. Is the CBS one and done coming back? Do you want me to tell you the truth or do you want me to give you the corporate answer? Yes, but it is legal BS is what it is. I wish I had a better answer for you. What if you add a Seinfeld trivia question to every weekly live chat? All right, here we go. Name. Hold on a second. Name. There's so many options here.
Name the dog that bit Elaine.
Oh, okay. I was actually going to name another dog. Name the dog that Jerry has to take care of when the owner on the plane gets sick and the dog goes home with Jerry. And I'm looking for the name that Jerry gives them. When I get back down to the live chat, I will see who got it right. I want to run with Scotty. I want to run Scotty with JJ Spawn Glover. Okay, let's look. Peg, say again.
Oh, Farfel.
Hey, you just gave out the answer.
Stop reading the answers.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not there yet. But apparently the answer has been, the answer has been corrected or has been answered. Okay. I want to run Scotty with JJ Spawn. 8%. Gary Woodland, Andrew Novak. 2%. No, you're good. You're fine with that. Here's the Lee Hodges question. So, we're in overtime. Let's go. Let's go overtime. If you're just tuning in, links in the description for everything that you need. One and done or leagues and tools and everything. Sign up for rickrungood.com, everything you need. A little bit worried about some of the tee to green play last week at Pebble Beach, although all of it came with the driver on Sunday, which is not the end of the world. I don't like that he punted Saturday and Sunday, but I'm willing to cut him some slack because he's been very, very, very good all fall long. So let's call it not as excited as I was when he was like $6,200 when I was like an 8 out of 10. So this is like a 5.2 out of 10. Thoughts on Live Golf getting exemptions into the US Open? Yeah, probably smart, right? And to just define it and say, hey, we're not going to do special exemptions. We're just going to say like top 5 or top 10 or whatever. I think it's fine. How's the game right now? So close. I have not posted a lot of good scores. I did post a good one last week. I've had a lot of good scores drop off, so my handicap's going in the wrong direction. I just did the stack system for the first time ever this morning, which is really interesting. I feel so close. Scheffler, Taylor, Glover. Okay, I don't usually answer full lineup questions. I would prefer Nico Echeverria over KH Lee and Eric Van Rooyen. Is there a way to figure out which tier 2? Okay, well, I guess we could just do this. So if we go here So again, this is that tool. Go to the season planner. Go to the tier 2 contests. So like here, which ones do we think Scotty's going to play? Well, he's not going to play the John Deere. He's not going to play the 3M Open. He's not going to play the Wyndham Championship. He's not going to play the Mexico Open. He's probably not going to play the Valspar. He probably will play the Scottish Open. So those are the ones that are second tier and Cognizant. I doubt he plays that. No way he plays that. So those would be the ones to target. He'll probably play the Texas Open. He might play the Houston Open just because he's a Texas guy. Probably play the Charles Schwab. Won't play the Rocket Mortgage. Will play the I don't know if he'll play the Canadian Open. See, the problem with Scotty is he loves playing in Texas, and there's like so many Texas events, right? We've answered a lot of these, or they are duplicates, which is never necessary. That's funny. Yeah, well, I mean, I am 30 minutes behind on questions, so it makes sense that I've already answered. Okay, this one is new. Thomas Dietrich or Tom Hoagie? I think the answer is going to be Hoagie, but you might be surprised at how good Dietrich has been playing. But anytime you get like a accuracy second shot golf course, it feels like a Tom Hoagie week. Okay, that's pretty good from Hoagie. Let's look at Dietrich here. Hoagie's pretty good. If Dietrich can beat that, I'd be impressed. I don't think he can. No. Hoagie. Rate Spieth's return on a scale from 1 to 10. 2. He didn't get hurt again. Otherwise, it was pretty crap. In a 1-and-done league and have everyone available, who would you choose? Tom Kim. Who would you pick in the betting without? Top 3 options are without Scotty, JT, or Hideki. Erasmus, Glover, Tom Kim, but it would depend on what the odds are because removing those 3 are probably going to make his odds pretty crappy. There you go. I thought he was a PGA Tour U guy. Ballister goes to ASU. Sun Devils. Forks up. I hate the quiet, but I'm just reading. Is Webb Simpson worth the dart throw? I do not believe so. I mean, these are all I have answered or talked about all of these golfers, which is good. But also now I'm just scrolling through a bunch of questions and you guys are watching me do it, which is, always fun. I just got the notification. Can you start over? Yeah. Welcome to the Wednesday live chat. We're going to be covering. Could you imagine? Mr. Peepers, no. Farfel, yes. Farfel, yes. Bosco, no. But isn't that George's pin? It says I have 48% of Siwoo. Should I be afraid? I like Siwoo. But yeah, he's a Looney Tune. He might just start putting with his wedges at some point. Glover or Hoagie? That's interesting too. I think Glover probably. This just says Dietrich. Oh, Stan the caddy. Who is Kramer's caddy? Stan the caddy. Come on. All right, here's what we'll do. Yes, I am concerned about JT's driving accuracy. We're in overtime. Here's what I'm going to do. We'll go this way. We'll go out here. Run your custom model. All right, and I'm really going to think long and hard about this. And I apologize, but I need to zoom out because when I zoom in for you guys to see, it drives me crazy. All right, here we go. Course types, no. Course history, yes. 15 on TPC Scottsdale. I think it's important. Putting. 5 on bonus putting. 5 on 20 to 25. 5 on 25 plus. And then an overall 10 on strokes gained putting over the last 36. Approach play. Opportunities and opportunities plus for 10 each. Hit it closer to the stick than your peers. 5 on these 3 proximities. And an overall 10 on... I actually screwed that up. I already had 10 on approach for the last 36. I wanted putting for the last 36. So now I can just add that there. I have 15 left. I'm going to do 8. I'm going to do 7 on scrambling and 8 on good drive percentage. My number one golfer is Scottie Scheffler. Yeah. Shock of the century, right? I don't think I've modeled anything in the last year where Scottie Scheffler hasn't come up number one. Glover is 2. Chef's kiss. Let's ride. Hideki 3. Kitayama 4. Sickos. Justin Thomas 5. Hoagie 6. Burns 7. Sungjae 8. Fowler 9. McNeely 10. That is like, if I were to go dump 150 lineups in right now, this would be the model that I'd run. Probably something like this. Maybe a little bit more on driving and less on some of those putting numbers, but something like this. If you want to run your own models, go to rickrungood.com. No, seriously, links in the description. You'll love rickrungood.com. If you don't, I'll make it right. And quite honestly, I'm always making updates to it. I think it's really great. We've got the listener. Have we filled the listener league yet? Let's check. No. So $10,000 guaranteed, $20 entry. It's going to pay out the full guarantee no matter how many people get in this. About 140 spots to go. This tool, I believe to be quite invaluable from Pool Genius. They're my buddies, and I helped build this. Links in the description for all of your discounts. And then sign up for my free newsletter. Links in the description. I am going to say, wait. Oh. Name the dog that Kramer uses to get meds for a sore throat. That's Smuckers. Right? Smuckers? Yeah. What did Jerry say the opposite of tuna was when George orders the opposite? Salmon, because it swims upstream. Right? Because tuna swim downstream. All right. That'll do it. One last thing. Burton, I see your note. I like Siwoo. He drives it accurately. He's very good on a second shot. He can get hot. He is volatile as hell. That is the deep dive on Siwoo. Starting tomorrow is the very first betting stream ever on PGA Tour Live. A dedicated betting stream. I have no idea if it is going to be good or not. I hope it is amazing. Either way, we kind of have to support this, right? We've asked for this. We've beat them over the head for this. Now it's time to show up. I highly suggest that you tag them, that you tune in, send things that you like, send things that are constructive criticism. I'm talking PGA Tour Live, ESPN Bet, Golf Bet. Show that there's interaction, show that there is engagement. I also think they're very open to feedback early. So if there's something you want, like, your voice will be heard on this. I promise you. I hope it's great. I hope to be one day be involved. We'll see. All right. Best of luck. Be good. Be safe. Go pet a dog. Goodbye.